Moo and good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Pinktron. I am Brent Robinson, and I'm joined today by Steph Chen. Steph, what are you drinking?
Late at night, I'm having some Sprites this time.
That's a universal drink. We all know a Sprite.
I call that Fanta Clear.
I'm sure I'm sure the Sprite marketing department will appreciate that. God, you're just ruining all our sponsorships.
Well,
And
I,
that
I
is
juggle between Fanta Lemon and Sprite. It's both lemon. The one is a bit like John said, Sprite is a bit clearer than the Fanta Lemon. So
it is. And that is Sean Fogenberg. Sean, what are you drinking?
Uh, it's 5 o'clock somewhere, probably actually where Craig is. So I've got a Ballast Point Grapefruit Sculpin.
yeah, I think
I don't know what that is. Is it
Oh,
beer? Is it
yeah,
cider?
it's a
Is it
it's a it's an IPA.
oh, okay. Okay. Grapefruit sculpin. Okay. An IPA. All right. That I know.
Yeah,
Oh, Sean is showing
little
us the can,
Sculpin
and that
on the
has a wicked
can.
little. Oh, okay. It looks like a lionfish, but okay, cool. It's a very cool can. It's very pretty. All right. And I have a big cup of hot tea because number one, my office is very, very chilly and I'm still at work. So it's just some orange pico tea. Um, Speaking of things that are not everybody's cup of tea, HSRL this week, race six. We got 5 laps on the classic featuring 10 segments. 10 segments.
Because
Oof.
it's the climb and the sprint each lap, right?
yeah,
Yep.
yeah,
And so this is the forward direction.
yeah. It's the counterclockwise version. Yeah,
Okay, yep, yep. That's the forward KOM.
The
So,
less steep
yep.
KOM.
uh, and the less interesting lap combination, or the combination of segments, maybe. I don't know. It's
Uh,
hard to tell.
I
Could be.
I I think going this way, so it's basically a question of KOM then sprint or sprint then KOM. Uh, this one gives you the opportunity to tail gun the KOM, but then you've got the descent, and you don't necessarily want to. I guess it depends on how much things break apart on the climb.
Yeah, true.
But you may be in smaller groups for the sprints.
Yeah,
yeah. So the start is in downtown. So you actually get a pretty good probably I'm not gonna call it the warm up, but like there's a 4.8K from the pens to get to the first segment. So that's kind of nice. It's not straight out of the gate. You can kind of I suspect there won't be any attacks. It's very, very flat through there. And then yeah, you're gonna hit that forward KOM at the 4.8. I guess the finish is at 4.8K, must be. So I guess you hit the start line
uh,
around 3K.
Oh,
the,
yeah. It
I think it's
this
400 meters. I think before you start a KOM or something like that.
the lead
It's a
in
bit
the lead in is 4.1K. So
okay. 700 meters. Yeah,
Yeah.
so you've got a few hundred meters. I think that 4.8 is that KOM start,
yeah.
because the lap it's 1.5, or it's actually 2.5K into the lap. So that would be at 6.6 or whatever.
Yeah. It's got them going every 3.8 kilometers for the segments. If I'm doing that math right. According to Maryline's estimates.
It's 4.8. I think per lap is if I look at between the first and the second Jarvis KOM start, so it's like a 5K loop
Yeah, 4.7.
or 4.7.
The loop is at the lap banner. So the reason the lead in is so long
Yeah.
is because actually you're right. You're gonna you go all the way around the loop one time before you actually start the first lap, right? Or does it start when
No,
you hit
so the
that
lead
first?
in
Oh
No,
no, you lead into the
no.
lap banner and then
to
that
the
starts.
banner.
Yeah.
Right, right, right.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Right, right, right. Okay. So yeah. And then the forward one starts off, that 4 km starts off with a pretty gentle rise. And then
Yeah.
there's actually like a little bit of a downhill, the flat bit at the end. And then the finish is medium steep. I think it gets to, does it get as
Yep.
high as 5%?
I think it's
Yeah.
like
I think
4 to 5. Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah. There's a corner in the beginning that's also around that 5% for a bit, but yeah, it's not
It's
not
So
fast.
really.
This is a fast
Yeah.
climb because it's also
Yeah.
it's a short climb, 1.8K at an average of 1.8%.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's those the couple little steep kicks. And as long as you can, so I think that depending on where you are in your category, tail gunning the group and then pushing on those steeper bits to make sure that you maintain contact is probably the way to ride this, because it really is that last kick. So it's maintain contact, draft, and then hope that you have a stronger kick at the end of the climb.
Yeah.
Uh,
and then yeah, quick downhill and it's pretty much straighted. Like
Yeah.
it's gonna be like 900 meters maybe to the start of the sprint, maybe less from the end. It gets close. And it's all downhill right into the
1.8,
start of that sprint.
one takes it 1.3, I think, from the KOM banner. So yeah, but
We're gonna
it's interesting because you go down pretty because you're still on the downhill, the last section of downhill of the KOM, and you pretty much straight after the downhill start your sprint. So the interesting tactic with you want to tail gun it, but you also maybe want to keep some speed from the downhill. So it's weighing that balance what you want to do.
That's gonna be very tricky to try and like come off the gas and get to the back of the group to hit that sprint and then come through the group because people coming behind you are becoming much faster if you're off and trying to get back up to speed to stay on the wheels and come through the sprint segment. It's gonna be tricky.
I am not happy that this is in the HSRL this week, the Jarvis KOM, because currently on Strava I am sec I have the second fastest time among everyone that I follow on the Jarvis KOM.
Whoa.
I am 1 second faster than you, Brent.
Oh,
Uh,
cold, yo. Yeah,
so
I need to do it more often.
I imagine that those that my time will fall down the leaderboard a bit this weekend.
That's, I mean, maybe you'll have a good day. You never know.
Yeah, it depends, but it also depends how you're racing. If you tail gun it and people don't have a reasonable pace, but don't push it, and just push it at the last section, maybe yeah, you won't
Dang,
get full
I've
time.
only done it 4 times. Well, I mean, I guess some of these may be repeat races or something, but I've only got 4 times on the board. Two of them were in stampedes. And then the one that I've got is from the Omnium in January of this year, a 254. But not even like the one I did at Stampede, I had 30 more watts, but was 5 seconds slower.
Yeah.
So there's definitely time on the board there for me in particular. I got it. What's the other herd people got up there?
I'll put it this
Well,
way. I am only 15 seconds behind Dan Pedrosa. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, Dampeter is a 238. Mark John's got a 245. Dan Stephenson's a 245. So yeah, it's a 3 minute effort kind of ish,
Three to
multiple
four.
times.
depending on category.
Yeah,
Yeah. I think yeah, I'd definitely be over 3 minutes by the time I got to the fifth repeat.
yeah.
Yeah. So, what do you think about pacing for this? Are you Do you think that this is one that you hold back a bit early on, or is it just like you expect everyone else to be dropping off at the same pace that you are, and so you're pushing every one of these 10 segments?
I would say I wouldn't if I was like I wouldn't extend the red zone to get like a couple places early on. I would to hold on.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean? Like I'd go as hard as you need to go to hold on to the front of the group because otherwise, once that front of that group goes down that hill, I
they're
think you're going to be
gone.
very hard pressed to catch back on. Yeah, because then there will be probably actually in each group a few people who are like actually going to try and press that group down the hill and keep it away from people. I know it's like right into another segment,
Yeah,
but
you think?
I think if I was not a sprig sprinter, I would be like, especially in A's, like I don't think you're gonna see as much of this in C and D because there's unlike less likely to be people who have like a big 3 minute effort that they can extend to a 4 minute effort. But if I was a lightweight climbery type guy and I was going against big sprinters in B or A, I would absolutely try and drop them on that climb and try and get a group of like 6 or 8 away because if they end up getting isolated in the back, they're not going to be able to put as much time in the later sprints to beat me.
Yeah. Yeah.
And my objective would be to absolutely just hold on to those guys for as long as I could. So I don't, and then I mean, you will the low, like if you're a C or a maybe a B, you're probably gonna get lapped.
That's true. Yeah.
C's,
This
I'd say
isn't
for sure.
necessarily, it isn't probably the best course for latching onto a group above. But I think that there is maybe something to be said for uh, if there is a group coming up behind you of the faster riders and you still have something left, you might be able to get a fastest time by riding the draft up that first half of the climb of that stronger group.
Well, or yeah, I think the perfect timing for it would be to actually catch them on the downhill just after. Like if you could time it so you they were coming through you right on the downhill, then you
Yeah,
caught like their faster group through the sprint, and then they'll
yeah,
probably lay off the gas and you can probably sit in with them. And then
Yeah,
yeah, hold on to them as long as you can through the first half of that climb before they probably drop you
yeah.
realistically if you're
And
getting dropped
I was
already.
thinking the same. If you can have a fast lead into that sprint, will help a lot.
Yeah, because I think that's why you can get two segments basically out of them, right? You can get probably the sprint and then you can get the first half of that climb in. And you could, I think definitely you if you were kind of in a mid pack but been dropped by the front and you caught like a fast group going through, you would have a very, very good shot at getting a first.
yeah,
Um, especially if you're a good sprinter, a first in that sprint and then a good result top group in that second segment.
yeah,
Wheel choice is eight 808s or whatever, like non-disc fast as zip things,
yeah.
or
I'm
Tron. Oh no, we can't pick Tron. Sorry.
It's arrows, or yeah, or MV 7.8, something like that.
It still says still says on a perfectly flat course you can save time with the 858 Super Nines.
Mm.
But
But
yeah,
this is not a perfectly flat course.
yeah, it's 1.8 seconds over 40K. So I would definitely be taking either those NV 8.9s or something like that.
I've been riding the 7.8s a lot as a kind of all-arounder.
Are these Zwift Insider? I know we're gonna get maybe into this and we get into news or something, but these Zwift Insider summary fastest frames, fastest wheels, they're not like comprehensive, right? Like must be
Yeah,
a reason that
no, I think they are.
like where did the DT Swiss ones go?
Uh, so are you
Did they not
on
upgrade
the
her?
fastest by level, or which thing are you on?
It says fastest aero bike frames and wheels at each Swift
Yeah,
level.
so I think that what that means is that the DT Swiss are never the fastest thing.
Ah, I got it. I got it. Okay.
Yeah,
So there's
it's
always
basically
something faster.
it's basically the eight MV 8.9s are the fastest non-disc, and then it's the rainbow discs are the fastest discs. So
You
Right.
know, I
So
really do think that James probably lobbied to get the rainbow discs as the fastest thing just for you, Brent.
if he did, when I go to the UK someday, I'm buying him a drink because I love it. I love it so much. Where is okay. So yeah, but yeah, I think you want like a fast aero road wheel, non-disc wheel.
yeah.
I think is your best bet. 7/8, 8.9s, DT Swiss 62s.
Yep. Uh, Probably not the course that you want to ride the Tron, but it is the fastest flat course bike. It's just that one of the segments is a climb.
But no bike choice, right? Isn't
Oh,
it
oh
fixed
right,
bike?
it's
That's why
just
I was only
okay, it's
talking about
just wheel
wheels.
choice. Got it. Yep.
Yeah.
And then we have a new series starting next week. I think the is that right? Is this the last week of the
Yeah,
This is the
yeah,
last week.
I think
And I
Marioline
haven't
sent
seen a
out.
format.
Oh, yeah, Marioline sent out a list of things earlier today. So for the next season, starting next week, it's going to be best 6 out of 8 races, with custom power-ups, always a draft and one other that fits the course. Week 1 is going to be an ITT with the TT module enabled, and it will be free bike choice with upgrades disabled. Um, and the week 1 TT, so next week we are on Bologna. But a pretty good list. We've got Bologna TT, London Uprising, Bon Voyage, so a new one of the new France maps, Triple Twist in Watopia, LaGuardia After Party, UCI Worlds in Innsbruck, Scotland Smash, and Shisa Shakedown. So ending with a 53K uh, ride in McCurry. So
so
Those are
so
some
it's a bit of
climby
so a bit of
courses.
the dumb stuff.
Oh, rest for the wicked in HSRL too. Those are tough courses. All right. Well, let us know how it goes. Get in the Facebook, drop your comments, tell us all how it went. I know the comments on the people who watched race one were yuck, this looks impossible and hard. So
I'm
herd
excited
beginner
about tomorrow.
racing.
Herd
Herd
beginner
beginner
racing, yeah.
racing is
The Douce France.
all right. So yeah, flat 25K. Toughest part is probably aqueduct, maybe the um intestines, but otherwise hang on to the group, win the sprint.
Yeah, you start with the intestine, so maybe the people want to push it to break the group, but yeah, then you
And
have
what
aqueduct, and then it flat 13K or something to till the end. So yeah,
would you guys be looking at for time on something like that, Steph? Like 35 minutes? 40 minutes.
or for these, I would say more in the 40-45 range, or
Yeah,
yeah, and even for the easy, it's going to be
yeah,
pro.
that sounds right to me. So, yeah. I guess last week you guys talked that about the new group rides, right? Um, if you're
Yeah,
if you're a beginner, get into there's there's learn to race group rides coming from herd racing. So look in the herd racing group for group rides. They'll be the only group rides available in herd racing, and they're being led by people who will get in the Discord and like sort of give you a bit of a lesson about how drafting works, how, you know, bike racing in general works, that type of stuff, so you can get a sense of what you're maybe doing before you jump straight into a race.
Are those the ones with the music videos?
Yes, they are. For those so not in the know, we've seen some AI generated songs about the herd and herd racing coming in, and they are good fun.
I
The
saw on
lyrics cracked me up pretty good.
Strava that our friend Chris joined one of them well, 2 days ago.
Chris Greenland?
Yeah, yeah, it was
Oh,
in one of
nice.
them.
Listen, it's good to have it's good. Like even if you're an experienced rider and you're just looking to maybe get some base miles in or cool off or just want to get some stuff and go in there and help because
Yeah.
if it's all newbies, it won't like they need a little bit of a critical mass of some people who could kind of know what's going on to shape the peloton a bit and get people on it and create the draft and stuff, right? So there's nothing wrong with that if you want to go in and help out, get in the chat, get in the Discord and help out. All right.
So I saw some mixing for him from his. I think he's doing the acro, the chasing pink. It seems he's doing that, going for that.
Did he pay the ERCO fee? I don't.
It, yeah, he's been doing them. I think he's been doing almost every race. If I've
Oh
seen
wow.
his. So he's getting his word out of his $8 or whatever the entrance fee was.
That's good, good. Chris can chime in on the Facebook post. Let us know. All right, I think that's it for herd racing, which I think brings us to news, which this week we're going to talk about the Zwift Racing League Showdown with supercharged team racing. Feels like I'm advertising a Hot Wheel. Showdown supercharged. If it's got like the orange, like the tracks, that's what we should be talking about here. All right, so this is a 4-week event being put on by Zwift Racing League from June 3rd to 24th, featuring 4 races, a team time trial, a points race, a scratch race, and then another finishing points race. And the um
And it has split courses. So A and B have a different course each week than C and D, except the last week both race on Three Musketeers, although A and B do the full course and C D do a slightly shorter version. I will say that the A and B courses look a lot more interesting than the C and D courses.
yeah. Although even though Three Musketeers isn't exactly setting the world on fire either, is it?
I mean, as a points race, that's going to be pretty brutal.
Oh,
Yeah,
right. Points race.
because it
Fair,
has like
fair enough.
10 segments or something like that. So lots of sprinting.
Yeah, so that's the flat. So the 2 points races, one is a hilly and one is flat. So that's the Sprinterpalooza as the final race. But the hilly points race, you know, Glyph Heights versus Legends and Lava. Legends and Lava is a fun hilly points race. It's shorter hills. Glyph Heights has the um, doesn't Glyph Heights have
it's Mayan. It's top of the grade combo. Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah, so no segment though for top of the grade, right?
right.
No.
It's just that the segments are just Mayan times two and Itza. So you must start. How do you get Mayan time? Oh, it finishes on Mayan,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
It comes back down and finishes on Mayan.
Yeah. And Legends and Lavas finishes on Volcano. So you have Titans, the sprint, and then the Volcano at the end. If they do that as a segment with also finishing point, that's no.
Yeah, I think that the biggest difference here are going to be the team time trial, which season Ds have big flat eight, just a big like how much power can you push versus something interesting in terms of like tactical when do you expend your energy for the A's and B's on Three Little Sisters.
Yeah.
Um, and then yeah, I think that's probably the biggest difference. The I think the big difference in terms of the overall format is it's going to be four racing each week rather than six, which probably works out well for a summer race setup. So rather than having to get a full team of six each week, um, you only need four.
4 out of 10, which is, I think recognizing that summer is maybe a little light for riders, so that's good. Um, yeah, recent Swift racing history. Yeah, so registration is opens yesterday. I imagine they'll leave registration open until probably like June 1st or something.
Yeah,
Usually they don't cut it off till really right close. Um,
yeah, I think they've gotten pretty efficient at doing the final distribution of teams quickly,
it,
like over that weekend.
I'll be really curious how the like categories shake out with only four riders and less people in them. Like there may only be like A, B, C's in each time zone compared to they used to do these sorts of things. They're still showing all the time zones in their thing, but I can't believe that, like in that playoffs they were having trouble getting. I know there's more restrictions, but they're having trouble
Yeah,
getting
I think that that's part of
fields.
it is just like there were in the last season of like season series three of this season. I think a lot of people upgraded in that New York race where there was a like 5 minute climb. Um, and that was still within the like 90 days or whatever it was. So there were a lot of people who had upgraded out and then weren't able to ride the final.
Yeah, it's one of it was also last year the Summer Showdown. I think did one of the races, but yeah, it was even with us. It was a mix of ZRL teams just coming together to have some bodies. I think it was a mixture of our team was a mixture of people from different normal ZRL teams when I was doing it in C last year, which was basically my last time I ever did a ZRL race.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So I mean,
actually,
listen,
like the Summer Showdown last year was quite a bit of fun. Um, looking back at, I had forgotten that this was the set of races that we had done last year, but like I remember the Eats a Party race being that was a pretty brutal race last year. Um, yeah, I'm excited.
Oh,
I mean,
I remember that race. The only race that I did, I think I was dropped just before the first spin, so 4 kilometers, and I basically did a an hour TT afterwards, or yeah, technically.
I think hey, listen, ZRL is probably still the most popular racing league in Zwift. If then there's more and more people I think who are Zwifting in the summer, whatever. We don't know what the rest of Zwift's stuff look like, but for the most popular format to be available for another month in June for a 4 week set makes sense to me.
Yeah.
So hopefully lots of herd teams will jump in there, get their bodies together. I know like just the chatter from my um ladder team makes it seem like the racing has got a little thinner and people are getting outside doing all their other stuff. So um hopefully everybody has this who wants to get in there can find a team. So yeah, if you're not sure, you're not sure there's a team, just drop a message, put a post up in the um herd racing team and people will just chime in and form up.
And I mean, timing wise, I think it works out pretty great. I know that there are at least several people that I've been on racing teams with recently are doing the Chasing Pink um, ECRO series, which will end with about a week in between. So, you know, getting out doing that series as a doing a 3 week race series as preparation for ZRL seems like maybe not the way to do it, but there's going to be some people with some good race fitness.
Yeah, yeah. If you've been doing all those chasing pink races, you'll definitely be fit to race those 4 races for that series. Yeah, the Hilly TTT is always interesting. Like on one hand, it's like not super TTTE, but it really does reward teams that can work as like maximize the efforts of their right people at the right time. So I like it. I like when it's something different than just everybody smash 30 seconds as much as they can and do it for a half an hour or 45 minutes.
Cool.
Cool. All right, that brings us to round the horn. Um, I know we talked about topics, but I don't know that we actually settled on one.
We did not.
Well, let's talk a little bit about um we'll talk about balancing other life commitments and racing because at the moment my balance is bad and that I'm doing no racing or cycling really, and I'm doing a lot more working and other things that are not cycling. So um
When's the last time you did a race?
it's probably been at least 6 weeks. I looked, where's
So you're gonna
dates at
hop
the
in for
top.
HSRL this weekend?
I might. I actually like the long weekend. I actually like we have no lacrosse or anything this weekend, so I actually probably have time. Um, and my
It'll
bike is
be,
here and set up.
yeah. I mean, I think it is always fun isn't the right word. Interesting to hop back into a race when you have been losing fitness for a while and just like checking in on, wow, how slow have I gotten?
Oh yeah, I did no spring chickens on March 8th, and then I did two big spins, one in April.
All right, so 2 months.
Yeah.
Uh, I do, yeah. I have some vivid memories of jumping into like HSRL races when I had been sick and off the bike for even like a month, or not doing any races for a month, and I'm just like hacking up a lung at the end, and it is a nice reminder of how nice it feels to be fit for a race when you hop into a race and you're not.
Well, the first thing I have to go adjust my weight. That's gonna be the first thing because I'm sure I'm not
Let
82
me guess,
kilos right now.
plus? Is it plus or
Yeah.
minus?
Oh no, it'll be up for sure. Hopefully only one though, I think. I think I only last I was on the scale, I was 183. I think I'm doing that math right. But yeah, the other thing that I always find after a break is is resetting your expectations of where those numbers are. Like you get so used to like knowing, okay, I'm this climb is X long, or here's a sprint coming. I know what I can be in my like wind up, and then like you get into that zone, and then you're doing it. Let's say you're doing like your 5 minute power
or what you
like
thought your 5 minute power was.
for me, it's probably like, in that four-ish to mid four type range, probably. And yeah, and then after 3 minutes, you go, rut row. I'm dying now. I'm dying. I think that's always like the biggest challenge. A little bit of like the get past yourself challenge, right, is part of it. Um, and I think part of that balance stuff is like sometimes the balance changes. I mean, we talked about like the for me, like I got in back into Zwift or really into Zwift. Let's say when I did Zwift before, I was never into Zwift like I was at a time when it was not working. It was pandemic. Everybody was locked up at home. And so like my balance could be like I can do Zwift 7 times a week and do a 6 hour ride. And I don't have any other commitments anywhere else to be. No one else is relying on me. And I got this giant room in my basement, in my big house that I can like put my bike in and blast the tunes away. Now the life is a little different. And um those that's not really an option. So you need to find a different way, right? Maybe it's not Swifting 7 days a week, but it's you got to find like maybe it's like two 45-minute workouts and one tiny race on the weekend or something. Um, Something that
So
requires a little less schedule commitment.
yeah, and in terms of like maintaining the fitness, you like obviously the best way to feel fit is to ride a lot and like, okay, I'm gonna have a 3 hour ride every week and I'm gonna get like a couple of races so that I've got my intensity, whatever. You can actually maintain fitness decently with one hard race every week. Uh, I've been over the last couple of months, my riding frequency has dropped off quite a bit. There's been, little vacations and like little illnesses and just like several things that have taken me off the bike for a few days at a time. But every week I've been getting a couple of, a threshold workout and or a race in. And fitness wise, I haven't dropped off nearly as much as I had expected that I would. Like I raced on Tuesday, Wednesday after having been out of town for a week. But like the last thing I did before that week off was I think I did a race and then a long ride with some like sweet spot intervals. Came back and a week later was right back where I expected to be and have been kind of maintaining that way without being able to get the like volume that I had been used to. Like if you look at my uh like fitness graph, things have really cratered, but my actual fitness hasn't yet.
Your projection from
Yeah, the like CTL, like whatever, your training load fitness has fallen off a lot because I haven't been able to get the like get the hours in.
I guess, and do you find, I mean, my impression of like some of that stuff is the thing that dies first is like the longest time, right? Like
Yeah,
I can usually like get in and like go into a short one and yeah, it hurts a little more, but I can kind of stay in it. But like it starts getting like anything over an hour or 2 hours, and then it's like you just feel like, oh my God, my fitness
yeah.
is done. That's
But
where
I
I
mean,
really notice
in
it.
terms of Zwift racing, how many of us actually do races over an hour? like significantly over an hour.
Yeah, no. Oh, significantly over, not many. There's not too many 2 hour races in Swift. Or there's certainly not many like 4 hour races like zero.
No. So, you know, I think that for Zwift fitness especially, just like being able to maintain the obviously being able to do long rides, being able to like smash out your threshold intervals, whatever it um, is going to maintain the like durability, your like ability to keep putting out power later in a race. But that's not the way that most Zwift races go. You're not sitting at threshold a lot in Zwift races. You're either going hard or you're kind of in the group and recovering a lot of the time.
How about for you, Steph, when you get like, I mean, you're a big summer rider, you get lots of big long summer stuff outdoors. What do you find keeps you balancing in your Zwift or choosing or how you feel about it, that kind of thing?
Yeah, been racing a bit lesser and lesser over the last couple of months. Yeah, was mainly doing in the past ladder and climbers gambit. Climbers gambit went away. Uh, Post had a break from ladder a bit also, so not much racing going on. But yeah, that's, my but I keep riding consistently. I'm trying to do what Sean's doing, like 3 weeks good load and then a recovery week to keep my base base fitness pretty high. Actually, did I mentioned it on a podcast last week. I did like 10 days ago. I did a Ruby race was actually over an hour because it was very hilly and it set my all time 1 hour power on that, which was basically about 10 watts below my current FTP. So I know it's uh, it's it's okay. It's pretty okay from maybe the latter, maybe the Swift racing, the twitchiness or the I've never been a real good sprinter or yeah. So it's always kind of depending, and also still learning a lot on Swift racing for tactics wise, pacing wise, how to behave in a group. Yeah,
Good. Yeah, well,
but yeah, for me,
congratulations.
yeah, for me, it's like I said, I'm single. I don't have the biggest social life, so I've and start pretty early. I work from like 7:30 to 4 p.m. So yeah, I do have quite some time to make lots of time for cycling. I think the last few 3 weeks I've been doing between 9 and 11 hours each week with a combination of endurance work but also higher intensity. Should be doing from tomorrow onwards back more longer endurance rides because I didn't have my road bike for a couple of weeks. It was finally fixed this week. Earlier was hoping to get it back last weekend, but they only fixed it on Monday, so getting it back tomorrow so can start doing my 3 hour plus endurance rides, including them on the weekends, and then I can focus more on the during the week on my indoors on my yeah, workouts or whatever I do for workouts, because I found it like Sean did it. I don't do much structure training in the sense that I don't follow like a Zwift workout, structured workout, but I plan it for For instance, I was on Roofy. There was like a week of tour of the Alps. There had some longer climbs in it, like 15 to 35 minutes. So it was ideal for doing a block of sweet spot on with that kind of duration on the hill. So so yeah, still going pretty good. If I look at my fitness, it's been hasn't been going up slightly since the start of the year. It's been going down a bit now last week, but that's just because I'm in a couple of weeks. So
Awesome. Good.
Yeah, I
Well,
think I think the big takeaway from this is the best way to maintain or really balance working out with your life things is to not have the life things to distract you from the working out, right? Like either be unemployed, retired, like don't have a social life. Like these are the ways to um, really focus on your working out.
yeah, yeah. Avoid getting two or three jobs. That's always a good start. And you know what else is good is talking to your friends on a podcast on Zwift, talking about Zwift. That actually does help motivate me because I'm sure if I wasn't doing this, I would have probably just packed her up and moved on to something else entirely. So uh thanks everyone for being on the podcast. Thanks everybody for listening at home. And I think with that, we'll say thank you to Sean Fogenberg. Thank you to Steph Etchen. Thank you to everybody who's listening at home. Thank you to everybody who's doing the herd races. Have fun doing the last week of HSRL, everybody. Hope you all set some PBs. Moo and good night.